Ask you, how long, Jack Germond, have you been writing for a living?
40, for a living, 42 years.
Mr. Novak?
I'm just trying to figure out the arithmetic. I got my first paying job 47 years ago.
How long have you been on television doing things like the McLaughlin Group when you started on that?
My first television was as a commentator 31 years ago.
31 years. How long has the McLaughlin Group been on?
12.
12.
You both appeared on that in the beginning?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you still do?
Yes.
You have your own thing on
Capital Gang on CNN, which just had its 5th anniversary.
What do both of you think that kind of television has done to the political system or the interest in politics?
I think it's increased the interest in politics. I remember when I first came to Washington in 1957. There was 15-minute news programs on the networks. There was no cable. There was no C-SPAN, no CNN. There was Meet the Press and Face the Nation were on, but there was few other interview shows. There was much less news. So I think it has whetted the public interest on a quantitative basis. On a qualitative basis, a lot of it is and some of the things I'm involved in are more show business than any kind of thoughtful discussion of the facts, because there is still a ratings game being played, and there's a effort to make something as exciting and as zip bam bang to attract viewers.
It's an interesting thing, Brian. I started in television. I did the Today Show starting in 1980, and then McLaughlin in 1981, and I now do CNN. And I've been struck, particularly by the McLaughlin thing, I've been struck by the fact that it reaches, there's a population of political junkies, of people interested beyond what you would expect. I'm struck by the fact if I pull a rental car into a parking garage in Louisiana and New Orleans, a young kid comes and takes my car, and he has not only seen the program, but he knows where I was on this side of this argument, which really is striking to me. On the other hand, these programs, and I'm as guilty as anyone, we cheapen the dialogue by suggesting to people, allowing them to infer from the programs, that you can deal with these issues in 2 or 3 minutes and have a substantive discussion at that time. And that is why everybody looks at television in terms of sound bites, in terms of an attention span of a minute or two, and I think it is. I think it sort of lowers the common denominator while raising the floor.
In television, not C-SPAN, but in most television, 60 seconds is an enormous period of time, and when you have anybody going on uninterrupted for 60 seconds, there's a sort of a panic that sets in, a sense of a lack of a sense of insecurity that the program has come to a dead stop. So everything has to be very, very cut up into bite-sized bits. I think that personally, as a journalist, I still consider myself mostly a print journalist, and I've been writing a column for 31 years. My partner retired from the column for the most part in Raleigh Evans in May, but I still think that's my principal activity. But for every person who stops me and says, I like your column, I have 100 who say, gee, I like you on television. I'm sure you'll have the same experience.
I'm going to tell you a funny story with this thing. When McLaughlin did the pilot, Novak said, you going to do this thing? And this pilot said, yeah. He said, Bob said, and I agree with you. He said, it'll probably never come to anything, but we might try it.
This is another medium. In your involvement on television, when you see people really getting, and the McLaughlin Group's gotten probably the two most confrontational people on there would be Eleanor Clift and Fred Barnes.
How about John McLaughlin?
But is this stuff ever personal? Really personal?
I don't think so. I've never, Novak and I were on that program together for 8 years. We've been friends for 30 years, and you would never know it from the program. I mean, I used to have young, idealistic people coming up to me and saying, how do you stand that Bob Novak? And I say, I hate to tell you this, but he's a very dear friend of mine. And I had to apologize for him, but everybody has to apologize for Novak. Let me go back to this point.